Did you know that the term Celts applies to many peoples and cultures outside of Ireland and the United Kingdom? Hello and welcome to World History Encyclopedia. My name is Kelly and today's video is all about the culture known as the Celts. Don't forget, the easiest way to support us is by giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing to our channel and hitting that bell icon for notifications so you don't miss out on our new videos every Tuesday and Friday. World History Encyclopedia is a non-profit organisation, so if you'd like to support our work, you can head to our Patreon via the link in the top corner of the screen or via the Patreon link down below. The term Celts is a general name given to the ancient tribal groups which spanned across Western and Central Europe during the Late Bronze Age and into the Iron Age. The ancient Celts were never a unified empire, but were individual and complex tribes which shared the Celtic language and, through trade of goods and ideas, shared similarities in art, warfare, religion and burial practices. Even though they were related, the tribes had differing governmental systems and would often go into battle against each other, much like the city-states of Greece. These tribes, which existed somewhat independently from each other, with both overlapping and unique features, were largely absorbed by the Roman Empire by the 1st century CE. The origins of the Celtic people are rooted in three previous cultures. First is the Late Bronze Age culture known as the Urnfield culture, who were present in the Upper Danube by around 1300 BCE, around what is now southern Germany. Their name comes from their practice of burying cremated bodies in urns in fields that sometimes contains hundreds of graves, although the culture as a whole is pretty obscure since we don't have much archaeological evidence for them. The next culture which overlapped the Urnfield is the Hallstatt culture, which was present throughout a large expanse of territory from what is today Western Austria, southern Germany, Switzerland and eastern France on the one side, and eastern Austria, Bohemia and parts of the Balkans on the other, between 1200 and 450 BCE. It was the western area of the Hallstatt region which eventually developed into what we would consider the Celts. The third Proto-Celtic culture which was significant in the formation of the Celts was the La Tène culture, which flourished between 450 BCE and 50 CE. The La Tène were a group of diverse tribes which shared common art and religious features, and who spread into a large territory between Ireland and Romania. The La Tène peoples existed in areas that the Celts did not, however the term is still commonly used as a synonym for the Celts. One of the main features that linked the different tribes known as the Celts is their use of the Celtic language, which is a branch of the Indo-European language family. Their language was split into two, known as Insular Celtic and Continental Celtic. But Continental Celtic wasn't spoken after the Roman imperial period, and it only exists to us today in fragmentary mentions by Greek and Roman writers, as well as small remains on graffiti pottery and votive and funerary stele. The Insular Celtic language is made up of two, Brittonic and Goidelic. The Brittonic language evolved into others including Welsh and Breton, which are still spoken today, and the Goidelic language evolved into Middle Irish and then into the modern Irish language spoken today. The society of the ancient Celts is another difficult thing to understand, once again due to the lack of textual evidence. But there are still a few things we know. We know that many of the Celtic tribes were hierarchical, with rulers and elite warriors at the top, then the religious leaders known as druids, then there were the specialised craft workers, the traders, the slaves and the farmers. The Celtic societies were first led by monarchs and then by either elected chiefs or a small council of elders. We even know that some chiefs were women in Celtic Britain, like Cati Mandua, ruler of the Brigantes tribe in the north of England, and Boudica, the queen of the Iceni tribe. Burials of women accompanied by rich grave goods also suggest that some women were treated equally to men. There was a strong kinship system where rulers and their extended family dominated the society through their ownership of land and revenue from trade. Rulers maintained the loyalty of their followers through gift giving, organising feasts, and social displays. Art produced by the many Celtic tribes shared some similarities, and much of it was influenced by Iron Age cultures from the regions they inhabited, neighbouring cultures, and trading partners, including the Thracians, Scythians, Greeks, Etruscans, and Romans. It was through trade with these cultures that Celtic art was also influenced by the Near East. The Celts worked with pottery, stone, iron, bronze, and gold, and used exotic materials like glass, coral, and amber to decorate and embellish. They produced items like ornate cauldrons, human figurines, bronze shields, brooches, and animal figurines that were used as votive offerings. Prominent features of their artwork includes flowering forms, gods and warriors, animals, especially boars, stags, horses, and hunting dogs, abstract patterns, and interlocking swirling lines, beautifying everyday objects and using their art to convey both power and religious ideas. By the time the Celts were dominant in their respective regions, many trade routes had already been established with Mediterranean cultures by the Proto-Celtic cultures. The Celts traded salt, slaves, iron, gold, wool, and fur for wine, and a lot of it, silver, luxury goods like Greek pottery, silk, and precious materials. A feature of trade in the ancient world is that not only goods were moved, but with it, ideas in art, religion, and technology. A major part of Celtic culture was warfare, which is clear from the number of gods associated with warfare and all of the weapons found in Celtic burials. The Celtic warriors in Gaul were described as bleaching their long hair with lime water, and the Celts in Britain painted their bodies with designs. Evidence also suggests that women participated in warfare in the Celtic world. The types of weapons they used were spears, long swords, and large rectangular or oval shields, and their armies had slingers, chariots, and cavalry. They also used war horns on the battlefield to help with organisation. In what is called the Celtic Migration from the 4th century BCE, Celtic armies did some serious damage. They sacked Rome in 390 BCE, they then looted Delphi in 297, and then they attacked Rome again in 225. According to one legend repeated by the historian Plutarch, the Celts originally came to Rome seeking the land of the good wine the region was known for, and decided to stay, bringing them into conflict with the Romans. Although we don't have much textual evidence to work off when it comes to ancient Celtic religion, using accounts by classical authors with the archaeology left behind has helped in piecing together some things like key gods, cult practices, and sacred sites. Across the region the Celts occupied, variations in religious practice occurred, but there were common features like reverence for sacred groves and other natural sites like rivers and springs, the dedication of votive offerings to gods such as foodstuffs, animal and more rarely human sacrifices, and the depositing of valuable and everyday goods with the deceased in tombs. There were some gods venerated in multiple areas and some that were regional deities, and unlike other ancient cultures, we don't have their cosmogony or founding myth. Basically, we don't know the Celtic view of their own origins, the universe and their place within it, and the ultimate fate of their world. The god most commonly depicted was Cernunnos, who was often just described as the horned god. This is because he was usually depicted seated, wearing either stag antlers or horns. Other major gods that we know are Sacana, who was a healing goddess, Brigantia, who the Romans equated to their goddess Nike or victory, Epona, who was associated with horses, and Essus, who had a hammer-like staff and may have been a patron of crafts. There were also many gods viewed as a trio, such as the three mother goddesses or the matronae, who individually represented the ideas of strength, power, and fertility. Local and regional gods were associated with the everyday stuff in Celtic society, like warfare, healing, hunting, tribal identity, and protection of specific groups like farmers or children. The first major issue for the Celts was local competition for both resources and trade opportunities. The hostilities got worse when Rome decided that it would get revenge for the havoc the migrating Celts had caused. Rome kept attacking and expanding, with Julius Caesar finally conquering Gaul. The continental Celts and the Celts of southern Britain were eventually assimilated into the Roman Empire. The ancient Celtic culture continued to thrive though in areas like northern Britain and Ireland, where Rome didn't get to, and their culture continued into the medieval period and lives on today through epic poetry and art. What is your favourite aspect of Celtic culture? Let us know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on our new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Is there an ancient culture you'd like to see us discuss in a video? Let us know in the comments below. This video was brought to you by World History Encyclopedia. For more great articles and interactive content, head to our website via the link below. If you like my shirt, you can find this design and a bunch more on our shop at worldhistory.store or via the merch tab down below. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon with another video.